Hello and welcome to Andy's Little Sci-Fi Horror Show. My name's Andy. This is my little 10-minute window to the rest of the world. And today is September, Friday the 13th. I love this day. Now throughout history, the number 13, in conjunction with Friday the 13th, has a strong belief of bad luck connected to it. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. It's not my part to say. I just like to research this subject and I thought it was fascinating. Statistically, there is some valor to it. Hospital admission rates go up. More accidents are reported. It actually affects police log. Many people don't even go to work on Friday the 13th, so that affects the highways. So whether there's actually any validity to the idea of the day itself being bad luck, it's a moot point because the people who do believe it affect the outcome. Thus, if you believe it's bad luck, it affects your nature and it will become bad luck. Things automatically change. There's the rub within the chaos of the numbers themselves. Of course, talking about a sequence of numbers, it has come to my conclusion that the presence and idea of numbers on an everyday basis, and even in the movies, does have a strong presence, for lack of a better word. There is no such thing as a random series of numbers because it's impossible. If you write out a series of numbers, you have an increment of 10 choices, 0 to 9, because you can't do double digits in a single trail of numbers. Patterns will automatically start to emerge, whether it's even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, or odd, odd, even, anything, or high, low, rounded up and down from the 0.5 up or 0.5 down. There's too many variables for any kind of random series of numbers. That kind of thinking gets me really excited, and because, I'm not the best mathematician. If you know me, I'm terrible at math. I'm terrible at remembering phone numbers. But that point aside, the number pi is probably one of the most fascinating numbers there is, because of it's complete and incomplete at the same time. Most people round it down. Also, it's a fantastic movie. Check it out.
(12:45). Restate my assumptions. 1. Mathematics is the language of nature. 2. Everything around us can be represented and understood through numbers. 3. If you graph the numbers of any system, patterns emerge. Therefore, there are patterns everywhere in nature.
You ever hear of Kabbalah? Jewish mysticism.
Insomnia haunts him and he twists and turns in his bed.
Maybe that pattern is like the pattern in the stock market, the Torah. This 216 number.
This is insanity, Max.
Or maybe it's genius. I have to get that number.
Hold on, you have to slow down. You're losing it.
You only gave us part of the code. Now give us the rest of the code so we can set it right.
You are only a vessel from our God. You are carrying a delivery that was meant for us. There will be no order, only chaos.
Well, there you have it. Darren Aronofsky's Pi. Now, after Pi, this was a highly successful independent film for this young man, and he followed it up with another film called Requiem for a Dream, which is, in my opinion, it is a heavy movie. And if you haven't seen it and you're gonna watch it for the first time, I highly recommend you be in a really good mood or in a really good place, because that movie can bring you down. It's the horrible tale of addiction in the lives of people. But we're not talking about horrible addictions, we're talking about numbers. Number sequences, patterns, and how they play into our life. Today, being Friday the 13th, many people tend to avoid things like traffic, of which I'm right in the heart of the city right now. And many people even avoid, work, but I kind of like going to work on Fridays. It's kind of fun. Most people avoid large purchases, and not me. I'm actually going to go buy a terabyte for my computer, and so I can continue to make this show for you guys. So that's where we're at. I'll check in when we get a little bit closer. Well, I take a minute here to adjust my GPS to try to find a electronics store like Staples or Circuit City or what have you, or maybe Best Buy. I want to bring up the movie Seven by one of my favorite directors, David Fincher.
Do you like what you do for a living? These things you see?
You have to wear blinders sometimes.
Detective William Somerset is looking for a way out.
You're retiring.
6 more days and you're all the way gone.
So how long have you lived here?
Too long.
Detective David Mills is looking for a way in.
We'll be spending every waking hour together from now until the time I leave. I'll show you who your friends and enemies are.
Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a homicide.
they're caught in a game.
No fingerprints and no witnesses of any kind.
Nope.
About the only thing we know about that guy right now is he's totally insane.
Where the price of sin is death.
There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony,
You're going to come take a look at this.
greed,
No one touches anything.
sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. 7. You can expect 5 more of these.
There are 2 more bodies, 2 more victims.
This guy's methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
He's laughing at us.
He's 2 murders away from completing his masterpiece.
Let's finish it.
7.
Of course, this one stars Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and 2 detectives who are trying to find a killer who's using the pattern of the 7 deadly sins to kill his victims very randomly. And the ending, if you haven't seen this movie, the ending, it's a shocker. So, heads up. Okay, well, I made it to the store. Oops, free plug there. And I'm gonna go inside. I haven't had the best of luck buying electronics from this place. The only thing I bought from this place that has actually earned its keep around my plethora of electronics is the very camera I'm filming with right now. So maybe this will be one of those gems. I'm kind of 2-to-1 odds here. We'll see. Well, that ended up being kind of a pleasant surprise. I was able to get a 1.5 terabytes for the price I thought I was going to have to pay for a terabyte somewhere else. Now, before I go back to my place, I'm going to stop over at Movie Stop just to see if I can get a particular movie for movie night to scare the hell out of Annie and Jerry when they come over next time. I got an idea. I hope it's there. Before I go, though, I want to bring up one last film, 8mm.
Cindy's college money? If I do right by Mrs. Krishnan, the circle she runs in, this could be the break we've been waiting for. Can't take longer than a couple weeks. That's all I can tell you, honey. Sometimes you can't know what I'm doing. It's better that way.
It's always that way.
You come highly recommended, Mr. Wells. You're praised for your discretion.
Thank you, ma'am.
As you know, my husband passed away recently.
Yes.
My husband was the only one with the combination to this safe. These were my husband's private things. I didn't realize.
Do you want to tell me what you found, Mrs. Krishnan?
Private Detective Tom Wells is one of the only people who has seen it. It is 8mm wide. It runs at 16 frames per second. And he has been hired to discover.
All I want is to know that this atrocity is false. I want the proof of it.
If what's on it is real.
Finding the guys who made this film is going to be very difficult. I need information. I thought you might be able to help.
You name the vice, I name the price. I'm gonna tell you, there's things that you're gonna see that you can't unsee. They get in your head and they stay there. You dance with the devil. The devil don't change. The devil changes you.
8mm.
Well, there you have it. 8mm, starring Nicolas Cage and directed by Joel Schumacher. But surprisingly, even with those 2 elements going against it, it's an excellent movie. I highly recommend checking that one out. It's very disturbing. It's probably the best work of both of their careers. Well, this is where usually a lot of our episodes begin here at Movie Stuff, but this is where this one ends. So, my name's Andy. Happy Friday the 13th.